all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights.
For Dog Pound Incorporated, the biggest win, his first win. Gutierrez wins the Indianapolis 250.
We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high.
And your 2023 Haas IndyCar Series champion is Lona in the 00.
What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and we've only got 5 races left to go here in the 2024 Haas IndyCar Series season, and we are here for race number 16 on the year as we head north of the border to the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park here in Bowmanville, Ontario, for the running of the Canadian National Grand Prix here at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And like I mentioned, the season is winding down. Just have 5 races left to go. It'll be 4 after this. And, well, we'll run 2 of those races next week. It'll be the Watkins Glen Duels, but we are here for our 3rd to last road course on the season, because after this race and the 2 Watkins Glen races, it'll be 2 back-to-back ovals to end out the year at Michigan and Pocono. Going to be some really exciting races, I will tell you all that. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here today at Canadian Tire. It's going to be an interesting one to watch out for. Could see a lot of strategy play out here today. We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down here at Canadian Tire, or Mosport, whatever you want to call it. But regardless of the fact, coming off of a absolutely wild race last time out at the Nazareth Speedway. Taking a look at your driver point standings coming out of that race. Bradley Bradshaw still holds on to the point lead by 43 points over Logan Williams. Both of those guys had pretty rough outings last race out at Nazareth, but they're still 1-2 in the point standings. And Thomas Troxel, getting the win at Nazareth, moves himself up to 3rd in the standings. He's now 59 points back of Bradley Bradshaw. Looking further on down the standings, Zachary Fitzwater currently sits in 478 back. Lona sits in 5th, 87 back. John Andrews comes into this race 692 back, and he is tied with Angel Olvera, who is also 92 points back. And then 8th in points, you got Chris Reynolds. He's 93 points back. 9th in points, Brennan Wilmington, 94 back. And rounding out your top 10, Angel Gutierrez currently sits 10th in the points. He is 96 points behind Bradley Bradshaw. I'll have to see how those point standings shake out after this one, but I know anticipation is going to be really high with this season winding down. And, well, starting on the pole position for today's race, it's the 54 of Bradley Bradshaw. Sure, definitely guys like Logan Williams and Thomas Troxel did not want to see that. So Bradshaw looking for a good finish here today to extend his points lead, maybe even looking to potentially lock it up early here in these next few weeks. We'll just have to see what happens and how this 54 team does. He's still got to hold on, but we'll just have to wait and see how things all go down. But I think it's about time to get these guys rolling here from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And as they do, we'll take a quick look at your starting lineup here for the Canadian National Grand Prix. As aforementioned, on the pole position, we got the number 54 of Bradley Bradshaw, and he's starting alongside the number 50 of Skylar Taylor. Row number 2, we find the 98 of Jay Knapp, starting alongside the 07 of John Andrews. Row 3, we find the 75 Justin Zidell, starting alongside the 95 of Richard Kinghart. Row number 4, we find the 23 of John Stewart, starting alongside second place in points, 38 of Logan Williams. Still a good qualifying start for him, starting up here in the top 10. Have to see what he can do. And rounding out your top 10, we find the 79 of Trey Smith. He's starting along this side, the number 5 of Braden Perez, making sure everyone rolls off all right. Looks like we are good. Race report and previous winners will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Of course, the usual 30 entries. Be a 21-lap race here today around the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. 51.45 miles around this road course. And, of course, as for all road courses, cautions will be off, and the fuel window, this will be an interesting thing to watch out for. It'd be about 15 to 19 laps. And, as Paul mentioned, the race is 21 laps long, so something we can see in this race is guys try and stretch it out and maybe even potentially just try and go fuel only when they do have to make a pit stop. Of course, with it still being a NASCAR game, of course, we still have NASCAR strategy and all that, so that is definitely a possibility that these guys can take, but we'll have to see what happens and what all strategies these guys decide to take. That's where this race is probably going to be decided, and it's going to be really interesting to see what all kind of different strategy these guys are cooking up. I think we're in here for a fun one here at Canadian Tire. Season's winding down. After next week, we'll just have 2 races left to go, and it's 2 of the biggest races of the season. Alongside the Indy 250, we got the Michigan 100 and the Haas Championship 200K at Pocono. But yeah, Bradley Bradshaw looking to extend his point lead out even more, trying to get that cushion that he once had going into the second half of the season. Looking to potentially even lock it up early. He probably won't be able to lock it up here today, but looking to maybe put himself in a position to lock it up here in these next few races. But like I said, we'll have to see how he does, and we'll have to see how this race develops. But coming through the final corners right now, pace car is going to make the right-hand turn onto pit lane, and it's going to be Bradley Bradshaw in the 54, and Skylar Taylor in the number 50, who's going to lead the field out of the final corner. Green flag is waving. We are racing here in the Canadian National Grand Prix here at Canadian Tire. Bradley Bradshaw had the advantage off the start there, but you went a little bit wide there, and that allowed the 50 of Skylar Taylor to close right back into the 54. But Taylor's going to go a little wide themselves, and this is where could definitely see a lot of passing opportunities here, as well as even the potential for a little bit of chaos, but luckily everyone's going to keep it clean here on the opening lap. And Bradley Bradshaw on the 54 is hanging on for the time being, looking to lead the opening lap here at the Canadian National Grand Prix. Coming through the final corners, looks like he's going to do just that. Bradshaw leads the opening lap here at Canadian Tire. Skylar Taylor is going to slot in the second position. Jay Knapp currently running in the 3rd spot. John Andrews 4th, and right now Justin Zidell in the 75 rounds out your top 10. Logan Williams lost a few spots on the start, slid down to the 10th position, now under fire from Angel Oliveira. Oliveira dips the right side into the dirt there, but luckily manages to keep it together and on the racetrack. As long as you can keep it going, no harm, no foul, but you don't want to go too wide or else you might end up in the tire barrier. But these two are still going at it. Williams does not want to fall outside the top 10, but Oliveira is going to have the preferred line into this corner right here, so it looks like he's going to have no choice but to give up the position, and Williams slides into the 11th place. Still all good and orderly throughout the field right now, and Bradshaw still has the lead, but Skylar Taylor in the 50 looking to potentially try and run him down. I know Taylor definitely wants a win. It's been a pretty rough year for that 50 team. Looking to potentially turn it around here late in the season. Same goes for Jay Knapp. Knapp, I am sorry, man. It's been an absolutely horrendous season for the 98 of Jay Knapp. Of course, missed the Indy 250 earlier on the season, and all the other races, it's just been terrible luck for that 98 team. But a podium here today would definitely lift their spirits there at NS Racing, so this would be a much-needed run for that organization. Have another battle potentially heating up back here, but for 7th place between John Stewart and or John Stewart and Trey Smith, yeah. Skylar Taylor up here goes a little bit wide, loses some ground to Bradshaw, and here we go back here. Trey Smith got a better exit there than John Stewart. Stewart might have locked it up a bit, went a little bit wide. And that's going to open the door there for Trey Smith. Trying to stick to the right-hand side as they go into the final corners where Smith will probably overall have an advantage. And he's going to sail past John Stewart as they come to the third to final corner. And back here we got Angel Oliveira trying to go after Braden Perez into the final corner. And it looks like Oliveira is probably going to take that spot away as we go into turn 1, and that is indeed going to be the case. So Oliveira moves up to the 9th position. But up front, Bradley Bradshaw holding a steady lead for the time being over Skylar Taylor. But now Taylor is under fire from the 98 of Jay Knapp, who is under fire from the 07 of John Andrews. So we got 2nd through 4th in a little bit of a line here with Justin Zeidel not too far behind. And he's got Richard Kinghart not too far behind him either as Bradshaw goes wide there. Taylor also goes a bit wide. Here comes Jay Knapp in the 98 trying to maybe take 2nd away here. They go up and down the hill. They're going to go side by side for the 2nd position. Sure, Knapp would like to forget the last time he tried going for 2nd side by side. It was back at Road America where he had a good run going and made contact, battling for 2nd with Chris Reynolds late in the going. But he's going to make that move work, and Jay Knapp is up to 2nd. We got a couple cars in the pit lane. That's Aaron Abel and Chris Reynolds, both on pit road with damage. Something might have happened to them. And that's Angel Oliveira also in the pit lane. So something, I believe, also happened to the 41 and potentially the 23. Might have had 2 wrecks on the same lap here. And one of them taking out both John Stewart and Angel Oliveira, who were both running up inside the top 10 at the time. Put a replay of both incidents on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Really tough break for both of those guys. Man, oh man, pretty chaotic lap there here from Canadian Tire. But up front, it's still Bradley Bradshaw in the 54 leading the way. You got John Andrews now up into the 2nd position. You saw there, got side by side and got by the 98 of Jay Knapp. Knapp down to 3rd, now under fire once again from the 50 of Skylar Taylor. And you also got Justin Zeidel and Richard Kinghart up here in the mix. Chris Reynolds coming out of the pit lane in that 73. And I believe Oliveira and Aaron Abel have both taken their cars to the garage. And it's not official yet for the 97, but I think that is probably going to be the case. He's still in the pit lane, and there comes the 23 of John Stewart. So yeah, Stewart definitely involved in that. Probably has some damage on the 23, so tough break there for him. But Justin Zeidel peeking on the 50 of Skylar Taylor. Not quite going to be able to make the move happen quite yet. But that is going to promote Logan Williams up here into the top 10. Same goes for the 88 of Nicholas Samadio. Taking a look, Thomas Truxell not having the best day right now in that 52. Currently running in the 19th position. Been quiet throughout the second half of the season, but won at Nazareth. Maybe potentially looking to make a late season charge at the championship after a very strong first half. Not the best showing so far here today, though, here at Canadian Tire, but still got quite a decent ways left to go in this race, and of course, still got that cycle of pit stops. That'll be a really interesting one to watch out for. Have to see how that goes. But still, out front, it's all Bradley Bradshaw in the 54. He's led every single lap here so far. However, John Andrews trying to maybe run him down in that 07, and we might even have lap traffic to deal with, as there's the 23 of John Stewart out of the pit lane. We'll see how much the damage he sustained is affecting him. I'd imagine he's probably not up to pace like these guys are. But seeing back here, Nicholas Samadio in the 88 is going to get by the 38 of Logan Williams. Williams might be struggling a little bit in that 38 machine. here early on in the going. Been dropping back ever since the start of this race. Oh, probably definitely what Bradshaw wants to hear, as Williams is his closest competitor. And Bradshaw currently out in front right now, but he might have some company here soon, as John Andrews in the 07 is running him down. John Andrews is also up there in the point standings. Have to see what he can do here. Oh boy, here we go. We're going to have a battle for the lead on our hands. John Andrews right to the gearbox of the 54 of Bradley Bradshaw. That 07 is looking really fast here. And of course, you probably also still got John Stewart up there, up the road to worry about. And Bradshaw goes wide. Here comes John Andrews. Is he going to have enough of a run? No, he's not. Bradshaw went wide, but he was able to get the drive off. But John Andrews is still right there, and they're going to catch. Ooh, they caught Stewart at not the best time. But that's probably going to hurt John Andrews there, as he's going to stay side by side there with the 23. He's not going to be happy about that, so that's going to slow him down just a little bit, but he didn't lose too much ground to Bradshaw. So we'll see if he can make another charge at him. We got Jay Knapp back here now, next in line to try and get past his 23. You got Skylar Taylor, Justin Zeidel, Richard Kinghart, all these guys still up here. Nicholas Samadillo is now past Braden Perez, so he's up into the 8th position. Logan Williams right now actually still running in the 10th position. So still a good run for Logan Williams, although it kind of means nothing with that 54 car currently leading the race right now. But still, like I said, this thing is far from over. A lot of stuff can still go down here at Canadian Tire. And we're seeing Skylar Taylor now getting by the 23 John Stewart, now with Justin Zeidel right behind. And Zeidel may be looking to go for a move. He's going to peek to the right-hand side. He's going to get to the wheel of Taylor, and going into the final corner, Zeidel's going to have the advantage, but Taylor trying to hold strong in that 50. And up here, John Andrews has already caught back up to Bradshaw, looking for a way around, but Zeidel's going to clear Taylor. Richard Kinghart's actually going to get by the 79 of Trey Smith, who's getting held up by John Stewart, and Logan Williams is now under fire from the 81 of Zachary Fitzwater for the 10th position. But John Andrews, he's got a faster car. He just needs to try and find a way around this 54. Bradshaw doing a good job with defense so far. We'll see what John Andrews has up his sleeve. Bradshaw goes wide. Here's another shot from the 07 of John Andrews, but he's still not quite going to get there. Bradshaw doing a really good job at getting back to the gas. And he still stays out in front in that 54 with the 07 behind. Then you got Jay Knapp in the 98. If these two keep battling, Knapp could potentially come into this battle. Same with the 75 of Zeidel. Zeidel's looked pretty fast so far this race. He's of course, got past Skylar Taylor there, and maybe even now potentially looking to catch the 98 of Jay Knapp. Have to see what the 75 can do. And we got, oh boy, pretty big queue behind the 23 of Stewart back here. There goes Braden Perez, and oh, this is not good. Logan Williams gets trapped behind the 23, and Fitzwater's going to get by, and Baranowskis now to the right-hand side. See if Williams can maybe get to the left-hand side here. No, John Stewart still stays ahead of the 38, and he's going to lose even more spots as here comes his teammate, Brendan Wilmington. And he's still stuck behind the 23. Vargas looks to the right-hand side. And he's just continuing to lose spots in that 38. Jay Knapp, he's gaining on these guys. Jay Knapp is gaining, and so is the 75 of Justin Zeidel. It might not just be a two-horse race for this lead right now. As these two battling it out is letting Knapp and Zeidel close on in. Logan Williams finally gets by the 23 of John Stewart, but he definitely lost a few positions in the progress. He fell down to, I believe, 13th on the racetrack. And yeah, he's down to 13th now. And Dylan Matthews in the 59, trying to get around the 38, right on the gearbox. As, oh, Skylar Taylor is blown up. Yep, that's an engine failure for the 50 of Skylar Taylor, and that is such a tough break for that 50 team. That's pretty much been the epitome of their season. It's just been bad luck after bad luck for that BO Racing number 50. That is such a tough break there for Skylar Taylor. But looking back up front, still Bradley Bradshaw in command of this thing. John Andrews trying to give him everything that he's got. And that the 07's kind of dropped off a little bit. And now, oh boy, we're going out for second as Zidell looking to get around the 98 of Jay Knapp. I'd watch out for the 75. Zidell's looking really quick here so far here at Canadian Tire. And he's made his way up into the third position in that 75. Fastest lap of the race so far actually belongs to the 79 of Trey Smith. So both the Otter Island Motorsports cars looking quick here today. That's really nice to see after the pretty abysmal season that Otter Island Motorsports has had here in the IndyCar Series. Nice to see him with speed here today, and both of them could potentially get a good finish as Trey Smith is trying to cut his way through the field. He's up into the 6th position, now trying to get by the 98 of Richard Kinghart. John Andrews, I think, went a little bit wide there, lost a little bit of ground to the 54 of Bradshaw. We know this 07 is fast. We'll see if he catches back up to the 54, and we are closing in on that cycle of pit stops. The cycle should open around lap 15, but we'll have to see if anyone elects to stretch it out, and we'll see if maybe even anybody goes fuel only. We'll have to wait and see how things go, as Zachary Fitzwater is slow, and I believe he might have had a bit of an excursion off the track in that 81. So that's a tough break for Fitzwater. I'll put whatever happened on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. But, you know, again, running inside the top 10 at the time, so that's a tough break for the 81 of Zachary Fitzwater. But Logan Williams lost his spot to Matthews and is going to lose another spot to the 13 of Max Anderson. And that 38 is really, really struggling here at Canadian Tire. This is definitely not what Logan Williams wants, especially this late in the season with a potential shot at the championship on the line. And it's especially bad when, of course, like I mentioned, your championship rival is leading, but is he? Here comes John Andrews in the 07. He's gotten back to the 54. Bradshaw looking to get around him. Bradshaw trying to put up a fight. They get together. Bradshaw is off the course. Andrews is off the course. And your two race leaders take each other out. One of them being Bradley Bradshaw. Oh my goodness. That did not just happen. Bradshaw is struggling to get back on the course. They both went through the gap in the wall and are both off the circuit right now. There's John Andrews in the pit lane. That's a tough break for John Andrews in the 07. Look, potentially have a race-winning car here today. And especially the 54 of Bradley Bradshaw. That's going to be huge in the championship battle. I'm tripping over myself. I don't know what to say. I don't know what we just saw. But goodness gracious, wow. Well, I'll tell you, I was definitely happy to see that as the 75 of Justin Zidell, because that is going to give him the race lead. So, how about that for that number 75 of Zidell in Otter Island Motorsports? He's going to inherit the lead after all of that. Jay Knapp now resides in second, Kinghart third, Trey Smith fourth, and you got Perez, Baranowskis, Matthews, Vargas, Anderson, and Logan Williams He's definitely another driver that was happy to see that. That's going to be huge for Logan Williams. But still, not... He's running, I believe that might put him up in the top 10. No, that's going to put him in the 11th position. So, Logan Williams can maybe just try and gain a few spots, maybe even on strategy. This would be a great points day for that 38 and really put him up into that championship battle. We'll have to see how this goes, and yeah, I think Bradshaw has retired from the race, and indeed he has. We'll have to see where he ends up. I believe Nicholas Samadio might have had an issue, same with the 24 of Giacomo. Oh, and that's Williams! What is going on? That's Logan Williams off the track into the tire barrier, and I believe he got into it with Brad Stover. And the field is now coming in for pit stops. There's a 75 of Zidell. He's out of the pit lane. Honestly, I believe Zidell might have just gone fuel only. Not entirely sure. That was a really quick stop for that 75. But goodness gracious. I'll put that on the bottom left-hand side of your screen as well. And once again, for the second week in a row, I might add, both the top two in the championship are going to get taken out. And yeah, there goes the 38 of Logan Williams now out of this race. We'll have to see where he ends up in comparison to Bradshaw. But goodness gracious. Got all these guys that stayed out another lap coming in this time by. Oh, Dylan Matthews into the pit wall. And Angel Gutierrez is also going to go wide and slam into the tire barrier. So, tough break for those two. And just like Road America, this race has just gone completely off the rails. And yeah, that's going to be terminal for the 59 of Dylan Matthews, and I'd probably imagine the same goes for the 49 of Angel Gutierrez, and yeah, that is going to be the case as Gutierrez is out of the race. But yeah, Matthews missed the pit lane, so she's going to have to go all the way around. But goodness gracious, what a crazy turn of events here from Canadian Tire. But I believe now everyone has cycled out, and Matthews goes off track once again. And Noah Clifton also went off the circuit in that 55. But yeah, I think the stops have all cycled out, and 75, Justin Zidell, keeps the race lead. But Jay Knapp in the 98, he is right there. He has come out right behind the 75 of Zidell. And we've just got 3 laps to go here from Canadian Tire. Jay Knapp and Justin Zidell, 2 veterans of the channel, 2 veterans of the league, both having really tough seasons, looking for their first wins on the year. And here we go, Knapp peeking to the left-hand side, didn't quite have enough momentum there to get past. Got to be careful, got Dylan Matthews up the road here, but she's going to kind of park it off to the right-hand side. That's a props to Dylan Matthews for pulling it off the racetrack as the leaders were approaching. He's going to let them race it out. But here we go. Jay Knapp looking for maybe a run down the long straightaway. Justin Zidell pulled a little bit of a gap there. And got another lap car up the road. I don't know if they're going to catch him. That's a 73 of Chris Reynolds. But here we go. 2 laps to go. Here from Canadian Tire for Justin Zidell and Jay Knapp. And they're going to battle it amongst themselves for this race win. And if they take each other out like we saw earlier on in the race, it's Richard Kinghart right now in third, sitting in the catbird seat. Knapp tries to go around the outside of Justin Zidell. That's going to work out for him. Here comes Jay Knapp for the lead. side by side, down the hill and back up. They're going to stay side by side. Into the tight right-hander. Zaidell's going to have the advantage here. But Knapp might have beat him back to the gas. They're going to stay side by side down the long straightaway. Oh, actually, Zaidell might have the advantage, but Knapp trying to stay at the left rear wheel, but he's not going to. Zaidell stays clear for the time being. And they're coming around the final corners to take the white flag. 1 lap to go here from Canadian Tire for Justin Zaidell. Jay Knapp went a little bit wide there in the final corner. We'll see if he can make one final charge, or did that mistake set him too far back? It's been a really rough year for that 75 of Justin Zaidell coming into this race. 26th in the point standings. And, going into Nazareth, he was actually 29th in the point standings, but had a good run at Nazareth, which got him up into 26th. And looking for a turnaround here late in the season, Knapp looking for one final charge. He's trying everything in his power to get back up to the 75 of Justin Zaidell, but he might just be too far back. Coming into the final corners for the final time, Justin Zaidell in the 75, entering this race 26 in the standings. He's going to get himself a win, and Otter Island Motorsports is finally back. Justin Zaidell wins the Canadian National Grand Prix here at Canadian Tire. And that is Otter Island Motorsports' first win on the season. So how about that for Otter Island Motorsports and Benny Watson finally getting it done? And what has been a rough season so far up to this point. So how about that? Jay Knapp still comes home at second. Still a great run for that 98. Much needed run as well for that 98 team. So still, I think, definitely a confidence booster for Jay Knapp. And also got Richard Kinghart finishing on the podium. Kinghart's also had a really rough season. He's entering this race 25th in the point standings. So how about that for Richard Kinghart? All of your podium sitters are right now sitting, out of your 3 podium sitters, the highest is 25th in the point standings. So some great, much needed runs for some of our guys that are lower in the point standings. And some much needed confidence boosting as we start to kind of close this season out. But man, oh man, Thomas Troxel. We'll see where Troxel finished. There he is. Came home in 11th. So a decent run for Thomas Troxel. Logan Williams is going to be credited with a 23rd place finish. And Bradshaw is going to be credited 25th. So Logan Williams is going to gain a little bit on Bradshaw after this race. But Thomas Troxel definitely is going to gain quite a bit there. And Zachary Fitzwater also had a tough run, that 81. Lona also had a really rough run in the 16. Lona finished 28th. So yeah, not a good run for our guys up there in the point standings. John Andrews, of course, got into Bradshaw, which set that whole thing off. O'Vera didn't have a good run. Reynolds didn't have a good run. Brendan Wilmington's going to come home with a 10th place finish. So that'll be some points for Brendan Wilmington. We'll have to see if he can maybe get up there in this points battle. But man, what an absolutely crazy race that was here from Canadian Tire. Started off pretty normal, but got completely crazy there in the second half. But I guess these things just happen sometimes. Well, what a absolutely wild race. And it's Justin Zaidell on top here at the end. But taking a look at your final results here from Canadian Tire, Justin Zaidell gets the win for Otter Island Motorsports. Jay Knapp comes home second. Richard Kinghart rounds out your podium. And looking further on down the field, you got Trey Smith coming home in 4th. So great points today For Otter on Motorsports, Nicholas Samadillo comes home in 5th. That rounds out your top 5. And you got Alger Baranowska 6th, Max Anderson 7th, Tanner Parton 8th, Braden Perez 9th, and Brennan Wilmington will round out your top 10 here from the Canadian National Grand Prix. Right. The next 2 races will be next week on Tuesday, July 30th and Thursday, August 4th. It's the Body Armor Duels at the Glen. Both those races will be going up at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and like I said, on Tuesday and Thursday, respectively. Those are going to be some really, really fun races. Watkins Glen is always usually a very, very good race, especially here in NR2003. With all these storylines developing, it's going to be really interesting to see how these develop and how those races contribute. And it's going to be a lot of fun here to close out the season. Watkins Glen, Michigan, Pocono, all going to be such fun. And I can't wait to see how things go from here. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, congratulations to Justin Zeidel for winning here at Canadian Tire. And I will see you all in Watkins Glen. Y'all take care and have a good one. Here are your point standings after race number 16 on the season.